Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the True Traits of Believers series. As we've been talking about, we are now going to talk about trait number 11. Trait number 11 is based on the verse that I've already quoted, but I will remind you again. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. All children of Adam are born with innate dignity and honor, is what Allah says. He also says in the Quran that He has made you and I into nations and tribes. شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَرَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The verse of the Quran that I quoted partially right now. He has created you and I in tribes and nations, and with colors and languages and backgrounds which are different and diverse, so that we'll get to know one another. Not despise each other, not discriminate one another, not make it a reason for troubles, not make it a reason for strife, troubles and turmoil on this earth. So this trait is where you and I respect and accept all human beings as equal. Brothers and sisters, racism in our society was rampant. It wasn't that long ago. Some of us grew up amongst terrible racist incidents. Some of you would recall those experiences in the 70s and 80s. Being brutally attacked on the streets. Some people were killed. We were all experiencing different types of racism as we were growing up in different parts of the UK. Physical attack too, That's changed now. That kind of racism is no longer acceptable and doesn't exist in our society. There are subtle racism that we see and that we will continue fighting. Racism is the sickness where people think their race is superior to the other. And this verse of the Quran makes it very clear. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And all children of Adam have been given dignity and honor by virtue of being a human. There's a very powerful story from the life of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Let me remind you. Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu had a person complain. A lady complained to Umar ibn al-Khattab saying, Ya Umar, your governor, Amr ibn al-As, his son, Amr ibn al-As himself discriminated my son. So Sayyidina Abu al-Khattab radiallahu anhu sought for an answer. Basically, there was a race in which Amr ibn al-As' son did not win a race. And Amr ibn al-As was very upset and rebuked the son of this lady who actually won the race. And wanted to make sure that his son automatically wins next time. Rather strange. When Umar ibn al-Khattab heard this, he called Amr ibn al-As all the way to Medina from Egypt and said to Amr ibn al-As the following words. Since when did you take the freedom away from your fellow citizens, when every mother has given birth to every single child free? My brothers and sisters, in Islam, honor and dignity and respect for our fellow human beings come from this particular and specific instruction that we are all free. Every person is free. Allah has given us that freedom. Nobody has the right to take it away. I'm born free. The world is mine and I'm its citizen. I can travel anywhere I want. That's how it should be. I can settle anywhere I want. That's how it should be. But unfortunately, borders have been created. Nations have been artificially concocted. Armies have been set up to protect some borders. This is all about selfish interests. Human beings should be free by the virtue of their birth to travel, to settle, to enjoy the beauties of this earth. And we have to give every human being that respect and honor because they're human beings. No more, no less. So the question I have, when you see somebody black, how do you feel? When you see somebody non-Bangladeshi, how do you feel? When you see somebody, you're an Arab and you see somebody non-Arab, how do you feel? How do you feel about people who are different to you? Do you give them the same honor and dignity? Do you respect them? Do you accept them for who they are? Or do you discriminate between them? Brothers and sisters, racism we may have eradicated amongst the white communities in Britain, but racism in the Muslim world still is rampant. I remember one gentleman who came to me in my mosque and said, I would like to marry this girl. I'm Yemeni and the girl is Bangladeshi. My father-in-law to be, the girl I like, says no because I'm Yemeni. He's discriminating because I'm not Bangladeshi. I said, what would you like me to do? He said, could you please speak to him? I said, okay. I saw the father one day and I said to him, can I talk to you? He said, of course. We sat down and I started speaking to him. So I said to him, why are you saying no to this good guy? He's a good guy. He's a decent guy with good character. He's got good income, good family. Why are you saying no to him? He would like to marry your daughter. He said, well, he's Yemeni and he's black. I was very, very upset in what he said. I actually said to him, uncle, have you ever looked at the mirror? You're black too. This racism is so embedded in our community. We say in Islam there is no racism, and yet I'm going to ask you this question. If your son or your daughter wanted to marry somebody outside your own culture and ethnicity, you would be the first one to flip and say no. I'm sure you are better than that. I'm sure you won't, but there are many who would. As racism, if we accept every human being as servants of Allah, creation of Allah, then you would treat them with equal dignity and honor. You would not discriminate them. As soon as we go down the route of discriminating everybody else, because we give superiority to our race, we become racist. And racism is unacceptable. Giving other people freedom and dignity equals even treating those who are sinners with dignity. How do we do that? How do you deal with people? How do you treat sinners with dignity? Well, first thing first, sin is not your business. If somebody sins, that's between him and Allah. Of course, if it impacts you, then you have a right to make your stance. But you cannot discriminate people based on sin. You can't discriminate people because he is praying 5 times a day or she prays or he doesn't. That's not how our religion works. We treat people regardless of their virtue or their sin. We cannot discriminate people based on anything because we are not the ones who are judging. Allah is the one who judges. Our right and our duty is to provide equal dignity and honor to everybody regardless of their background, their status, their ethnicity, their color, their language, their spiritual, their virtue, their sins. We can't. Brothers and sisters, it's a very difficult one, I know. How do I do this? How can I not look at someone's sin? But you're not supposed to. Remember what Rasulullah said? If you hide the sin, cover the sin of your brother, Allah will cover your sin on the Day of Judgment. It's not just about covering. It's also about accepting that every human being can sin. And we all will sin. We cannot become the judges. So giving people equal respect and dignity means we have to rise above these prejudices. Rise above our personal prejudices. You cannot live with prejudices. If you do, you will be the one who will be defeated, not those people on the other side. Every human being must be treated with fairness and dignity and honor regardless. That's the bottom line. That's the teaching of Islam. And that is the true trait of a believer. If we fail to do that, we are failing ourselves. If we fail to do that, we're failing Allah. We're failing the message of Islam. So a true believer provides that honor and dignity just like Allah does. Does Allah discriminate anyone based on their sin? No. If He wanted to discriminate, He would have switched off the oxygen for those who disbelieve in God, in Allah, and those who believe in Allah. So those who disbelieve should not be able to breathe and they will all drop dead straight away. But no, believers and non-believers, they all enjoy the oxygen that Allah gives, the wealth that Allah has given us on this earth. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا أَوْ إِمَّا كَفُورًا. Allah says, I've shown you the path. You may accept it and be grateful, or you may reject it. But on this earth, for as long as you live, you're at a point of time, you will not be discriminated. If you cause trouble for yourself, that's your own making. Equal worth and dignity comes from Allah. Accept it, respect it. I'm going to talk about some practical aspects of it in the second half of our program. So I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue on trait number 11, providing equal respect and dignity for all human beings, regardless of their background.